Please chant Om together for 3 times. Please relax and see these friends. Very, very simple. When we are starting our class, when you are assembled here, are we starting with sounds, words, descriptions? We have assembled in silence. Listen. Physical body by itself has no language. Body doesn't speak. Like this amplifier. Amplifier never speaks. Amplifier amplifies. Our body is like an amplifier. It amplifies our thoughts. Amplifier because you can speak loud or you can speak slow, very slow. Just like you are controlling the volume of the amplifier, you can control the volume of this body. So the body by itself has no noise. It's a nameless, speechless existence. If this much you grasp for yourself right now, you can extend that same principle to the entire physical universe. Not only this little planet Earth, but solar system, galaxies, Milky Ways, universe, and if you believe in a multiverse, meaning the entire expanse, physical universe is totally nameless. All of us are helplessly nameless. Nobody was born named or branded. No object needs a name for its existence. See that, very simple. There is a flower. For this flower to exist, no name is required. Until the planets were named, stars are named, mountains are named, deserts are named, our body is named, is existing. It's nameless. To be with the nameless, what name shall you need? Please. To be with the silence, what sound shall you need? This is the primordial, the fundamental, the beginningless, endless, nameless expanse. And please see that, friends. To name something, please see it, feel it, see it. To name something, first you must experience that something to name it. What you have not seen, not heard, not touched, not tasted, not smelled, have you named it? Until you see something, will you ask for its name? Because you think you don't know the name. Others may know the name. So what is this? You are seeing it. Its existence is independent of a name. But since you don't know the name, you ask somebody, what is this? Suppose the people also don't know it, they are seeing it for the first time. What do? Does it disappear because there is no name? Principle. To name something, either you must see it, hear it, taste it, touch it, or smell it. When you are experiencing it, yet it doesn't invoke any identity, the picture is there in your head. There is no identity. You'll ask, what is this? Listen carefully. So to name, we'll go step by step. What comes first? The naming as an activity comes first, or experiencing the object comes first? Naming is a human activity. Animals have not named anything. Trees have not named anything. The generation, let us say the first man, first woman, or we just don't worry about it, whatever, the thousands and millions years back, when the first man walked the earth, God don't call it first man, suppose that part we shall see later. That's an amazing thing. The first man in the jungle, man, woman, whoever, they had no name for anything. As time passes, they started naming, then the books were created. Our generation, we don't begin with nameless, physically. Already all the names have been organized for us. History, geography, mathematics, chemistry, all these things are already, they have been named and books are there. That is why the coming generation, the generation next, advantages because everything has been explored for them in the physical world, disadvantages because they have to follow what has been named, and they have no choice to change it or question it. Listen carefully. Just as the physical universe is nameless, first you experience it, see it, name it, taste it, name it, touch it, name it, taste, smell it, name it, hear it, name it. Until you hear something, you shall not attempt to name it, right or wrong. Until you see something strange, you will not attempt to name it. Taste something strange, smell something strange, you will not attempt to name it. So the nameless expanse is celebrating itself. Call it celebration, poetry. It is always existing. No names, no conflict, nothing. Listen carefully. In physical universe, there is no physical conflict. There is no war. There is no battle. Go into the stars and galaxies, there is no interstellar fight, interplanetary fight, inter-mountains fight, inter-rivers fight. Even among the animals, there is no inter-animal organized fight. For food, they eat each other. Once that food is over, the lion will be lying down there, 20, 100 impalas can go, you won't even look at it because his stomach is full. Think, friends. For experience, for naming something, you have to experience it. If this much you understand, it clearly shall show you to experience, objects are not needed. To experience an object, suppose, do you see this? Yes. So I am seeing the flower. For seeing, a flower is not needed. Seeing is an experiencing. Very simple. Only if you are a little educated, sort of thinking person, educated not necessarily in PhD, a thinking person. Seeing is an experiencing. Not seeing also is an experiencing. Seeing does not depend upon what you see. So experiencing the seeing does not depend upon the sights. Experiencing the listening doesn't depend upon the sounds. So naming begins first or experiencing begins first? Please tell me. What begins first? Not the naming. Experiencing. And there are 5 dominant experiences. Shabda, listening. If you have no ears, you have no capacity, your ears are defective. Deaf, not listening. That also is an experience. What you listen is far away. You don't depend upon the sounds for your capacity to hear. You don't depend upon the absence of the sound for your capacity to hear, to experience hearing. Same thing with every sense organ. Experiencing sight doesn't depend upon what you see. But experiencing seeing is dependent on your eyes, and experiencing not seeing does not mean absence of the object, but absence of your capacity to see. Go back and think it for every sense organ for yourself. So seeing is an experiencing. Listening is an experiencing. Touching is an experiencing. Tasting is an experiencing. Smelling is an experiencing. And none of these 5 sense experiences depend upon the corresponding sense objects. Sound, objects of sound or touch or taste or smell or a taste. If that much you understand, we are lost in seeing and not seeing, touching and not touching, tasting and not tasting, smelling and not smelling, listening and not listening. Now, the moment you see or hear, a thought takes place. You see this flower, a thought takes place. You listen to the sound of the cuckoo, the thought takes place. Sense organs, because of these sense organs, you are experiencing something, not only the object, but the peculiarity of it is, sensations are the inevitable byproduct. That is why Bhagavan says, Ehi sansparshaja bhoga. Ye bhogaha sansparshaja. Those experiences, sensations, which are born of the sense organs coming in touch with the sense object. If you don't have the ears, how are you going to experience the sensation of sound? If you don't have the skin, healthy skin, psoriasis or leprosy, your skin is lost. How are you going to experience the sensation of touch? How do you experience the sensation of sight if your eyes are not there? How do you experience the sensation of taste if your tongue is scalded, burnt with a hot coffee? How do you smell anything if you have got cold or COVID? So sense organ, when it comes in sense object, sensation is inevitable. And that sensation you feel in a subtler level, thought level. Sensation. That's sense perception as well as sensation, both create the vasana. Vasana means not in a bad sense of the term. Vasana, real meaning, not vasana means people say vasana, you remove the vasana. That's a very dangerous word it has become. It's a beautiful word. Bhogajanya samskara. Vasana means bhogajanya samskara. It's not a frightening thing. Bhogajanya samskara. Impressions created by the ears listening, skin touching, eyes seeing the object, tongue tasting the food, nose smelling things. Why do you call it vasana? Because bhogajanya samskara, you are bhoga, you are enjoying, meaning sensing, experiencing samskara, the impressions left behind by the perception, sensation, thoughts. If you say vasana is bad, how will it go? You'll be destroyed for life. Those are all impressions. Listen carefully. Those impressions, resolve it right now just like that. Those impressions cannot be perceived by the sense organs which helped creating it. Ears helped in, listen, ears do not produce sound, ears report sound. Eyes do not produce sight, they report sight. The sensation that comes, the possibility is there in your sense organ. Both the perception and sensation are recorded in your thought level. Bhogajanya samskara. Those are the impressions. Impressions still look harmless. Vasana has been so misused, that word. You must get rid of the vasana unless you are nirvasana, free from all this. Please dump that idea. Do not demonize the innocent perception, sensation, experience, thoughts, or anything in this universe. You don't need to demonize, but don't demonize. Please. So the thoughts, impressions, vasanas are there. Now, since these subtle impressions, please think of it. Since these impressions cannot be heard, seen, touched, tasted, smelt by the organs which helped in creating it, neither the objects has an access to the mind to see their photos. How was my photo? That impressions? No. These are, how do you know you have it? You are experiencing, listen, not only you experienced seeing the flower, flower is gone. Not only you experienced seeing with your eyes and closing, you experience not seeing with your eyes, but once you close your eyes, you are experiencing the thoughts, sensations produced by the sense organ coming in touch with the sense object. You are experiencing. And when the thoughts are not there, you are also experiencing no thoughts, forgotten. That is the experience, that by which you are experiencing everything, gross physical universe, body, sense organs, sensations, thoughts. And in that there is one thought says, I see, I hear, I touch. When the thoughts are not there, I can't say I think or I touch. The I thought is not needed. That name is not needed for you to experience the presence or absence of any thought, any impression. It doesn't depend upon the presence or absence of the sense organs. The blind is conscious, deaf is conscious, or the absence or presence of the sense object. And that is the nameless experience. Only that. The whole universe is that. Close your eyes for a second. Ask yourself, friends, do you need the names for the universe to exist? Do you need sensations to experience seeing? Or because you are seeing, therefore sensations are created? Do you need sensation to touch? Or because you have the skin or the ear or any sense organ, therefore you are experiencing a sensation? Sensation is not an experience, it is something experienced. You can call it an experience. I experienced that. But without that also, your experiencing continues. Without your eyes, your experiencing not seeing continues. With your thought, you experiencing the thought. With no thoughts, you are still experiencing conscious of the absence of. See, ultimately, that's nameless. It doesn't depend upon a thought. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasa manobhaga atitam. A thought is not needed, object is not needed, sense organ is not needed, sensation is not needed, memory is not needed, no name is needed, I is not needed. It's a nameless expanse. Open your eyes, friends, if you like. All of us begin in that beginningless, nameless, endless expanse. Sound begins in silence. Sensation begins in a sensationless sense organ. Thoughts begin in a thought-free expanse, consciousness. Nameless is the primordial. Anadi Ananda, beginningless, endless. That is what when Arjuna sees, Nantam na madhyam na punastavadim, pasyami vishveshwara vishwarupa. O Lord, I see your universal form. Na antam na madhyam na punastavadim. No beginning, no middle, no end. Everything is there. That is the nameless content of all names. No name can hide the nameless. No name can dismiss the nameless. No sound can dismiss the silence. No form can dismiss the formless space. It's a nameless expanse. Which is difficult? To stick to names or to be with nameless? This is your experience, this is my experience. Now somebody has named it Brahman, we are finished. Nobody knows Brahman. Names are unknown, not the nameless. You must see that. The moment somebody names something, you become ignorant of it. Are you getting that point? Are you getting that point? I hope it's so simple, it will escape every intelligent mind. It's so simple. Because we take pride in complications. If I say, ଏଠି ଯେଉଁ ମରତ ଅଛି ଦେଖୁଛ? Do you see Marata? Do you see Marata here? What shall you say? Suddenly you think you are ignorant because you don't understand what is Marata. I deliberately created a name, or as Oriya speaking people will say, nonsense. So quickly you jump into the pride. I know. What you know has become more important by that which you know. That by which you know anything is same for the entire humanity. How this confusion begins, we shall see today, friends. The moment somebody names it, you are ignorant. Previously, you are coming on the Ashram road. Now this road is suppose known as the JPRKS road, some JPKS road. So somebody asks you, have you, sir, do you know JPKS road? You know JPKS road? Adamadilli. Why? Somebody has named it. Many new township you don't know, because when you say it was only Chennai, Madras. Now you say Chennai, Chennai. Ah, that's right. You want to make people feel ignorant? Name it. Generally, the perceptible universe experienced, in particular, a name is not experienced. Universe is named, understand? I mean, in general, the whole universe is experienced. Yes. Do you see the Saptarshi? Saptarshi. You are seeing the stars. But you have not been introduced to those names. Understand? Okay. You understand that principle, please see how it has started. Mahadeva, Amma's, Mother's grace, God's grace. See that. Look at your own body, friends, okay? Just relax. Look at your own body. Will any human being look for his heart and then find the heart? This is the example hit me. Think of it. Does anybody, any human being, look for a heart? Look for a kidney? As a children, did you look for your kidney? Intestine? Liver? Lungs? Esophagus? The fancy names they give to the simple instruments. Then you have failed in the examination because you can't remember that idiotic name. Anyway, think friends. You shall not look for a name, listen carefully. You shall not even attempt to name until you experience the pain in the invisible inner world of the body. No human being shall explore the body until there is pain in the body. Just you are growing, everything is going on. Then one day your stomach, oh, why it is like that? Oh, what is happening there? Oh, backache. Something somewhere happens. Oh, the stomach is there. How to look at it? Open. Until you open the body, physiology as a science would not have begun. You have to open the body. Medicine. Listen. Once you open the body, a nameless universe inside opens up in front of you. Then what do? Name it. Open it up. Spine, backside. All the ribs, rib cage, open. Everything falls out. Oh, how beautiful thing falls out. Would you like to see your inside body? You want to marry? Send the inside of your body to everybody. This is how my intestine looks. This is how my heart looks, my pancreas. Look at it. Body is too good. All complicated things kept up nicely, just like the model. Car model. Beautiful model of the car. Inside, idiotic, complicated looking, this, that machine, you open it, wire, this and that. Oh, right. But everything, right. Think. Let us see that, friends. So, the moment you open it, heart, lungs, bones, marrow, blood, cell, artery, vein. The world is created. More and more lands are discovered, more and more nameless universe is discovered, and named, more and more our ignorance increases. Your ignorance increases. When people go on exploring and naming, your ignorance increases. Your experiencing of those things also, not experiencing, that comparison increases. But that you are experiencing, the named universe and the nameless object, the named object and the nameless object, that experience, is it expanding? Atma, Chetana, name it whatever you like. Anama, Arupa, nameless. If the outside, exploring the physical universe, you started geography, before that come back. How it expands, please see. The whole morning my mind is going, ee. As a child, we are just in one place. As a person, you are just a person. Your world is confined to your little body. Then you expand outside. Me, mother, father, family. Then it becomes, you name it, family, village, community, area, district, country, state, country, countries, continent, continents, planet, planets, solar system, systems, galaxy, galaxies, universe. How many people have expanded to that? Life is stuck with either one little body, family only, me, my wife, my child, my husband. But this community only, this state only, this country only. Listen carefully, you will go into that. I'm happy one way it is not there, we can go for 1 hour, 2 hours, doesn't matter. Please listen. That is our geography. 100 years back, those who were studying geography, they have to remember 10 countries. Today, will you remember? 200 countries. Everybody is fail. Ignorant and fail. Names. Listen carefully, friends. If this happens to the physical universe, the physical universe, the outer universe is easy, because you see it, you experience it, you see it, hear it, touch it, and start exploring it and naming it. How many books are created? About geography, history, all things are created. Physics, chemistry, mathematics, all these things are created. Listen. Inner body, still not part of geography. Geography will talk about your body, where the body lives, which body area, which area, all that. But geography will not talk about your inner graphy. That's not geography. Open it, another universe opens. Physical. In the physical universe, the perceptible universe, there is imperceptible part of your body, physiology. And you need instruments, X-ray, scanning machines. They are creating more and more to see this, every part of it. Nothing can escape. Understand, friends? But you are experiencing the presence of that nameless being, yourself, you are experiencing the unnamed physical universe, the named physical universe, the unnamed organs of the body, the named organs of the body. Can anybody deny that? But we have been tricked. What we experience have become more important than that by which I am experiencing. So, me coming the last, whereas in fact, me the nameless must come first. And also endless, beginningless, endless. In between, what you are doing, don't tell me. It's a fragile dream. Can you not yourself live happily for 20, 30, 40, 60, 80 years and allow others also to live happily for 80 years? No. Why? Come to these friends, you'll know why. Because you want to be more important than somebody, less important than somebody. Listen carefully. That begins, that more and less important, doesn't begin in the physical body or in the physical universe. Until your stomach ache, you will not open your stomach. Exact the same way. Until you experience, before naming the Shadripu, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Moha, Mascharya, Ahankara, before you named anything in your thought universe, your memory world, your thought world, until the complication begins, you shall not explore your thought universe. Think, friends. Mummy, then mummy, what to do, right? You yourself, oh, I have this problem, I have that problem. Until you say you have piles, until you say you have urinary infection, think. Until you say you are getting a pain around your chest, nobody shall open it. Just like when you say something is happening inside the body is opened. I don't know, why am I feeling restless? I'm feeling so angry, I'm jealous, so miserable. I am feeling miserable. That you're experiencing misery, that misery is not questioned. That I who is naming it and suffering is not questioned. What your experience is questioned. That you are experiencing, that I fellow. When the body is aging, body is frightened, or I am aging, I am frightened. The I. Listen. And this I is not the inhabitant of a physical universe. The I thought, the individuality, is not the inhabitant of the physical body or the physical universe. It's a name. Long before the name was created, the nameless experiencing it. Then thoughts were created. This is where the sages of the Upanishads. Good, you explore into the majestic physical universe. Today we have done that. The perceptible physical universe must be explored. What is wrong? Plan to go into 20 light years away, maybe 100, 200 years after, people will discover medicine, the aircraft or the spacecraft, which can go in the speed of light. You should have the capacity to completely, the matter goes in the speed of light, becomes energy, and energy comes at rest, becomes matter created. That's what I was reading when I was reading one UFO experience of somebody. The fellow had asked the UFO people, good or bad, true or false, I don't care. Science fiction, it doesn't matter. The person answered, how do you come from such distant stars and universes? It is very simple. We get into this machine and we know the trick of completely converting the mass to energy and then bring back energy to mass. Even if it is a scientific theory, the theoretical physics, it doesn't matter. Appearing, disappearing. When somebody says appearing, disappearing, what does it mean? They have the capacity to disintegrate here and reintegrate some places. And for them, the person said, for us the death is, we have disintegrated, but he could not reintegrate. That is why I am finished. The person is finished because he chose to disintegrate, but could not reintegrate. Accident. Imagine, if such a universe ever comes to existence, don't remove the possibilities. You go into that creation. Who feels it? I feels it. One thought. And that thought did not begin at childhood. When you are 1 year old, 2 year old, 5 year old, that name was given to you. I. But even before the name was given, you are nameless. So when you started writing about these things, your thought world, with a limited thought world, you named it psychology. Because as in this gross world we are experiencing, there is space there and all objects are there. The space is nameless, formless. Here everything is nameless but not formless. In the formless space, forms are integrated part of the formless space. When you go into thought universe, Chidakasa, Akashavasham, Chidakasa, space of consciousness, in which the vrittis, there are two types of vrittis they discovered. Akhanda akara vritti, akhanda akara vritti, akhanda akara, individual, nameless, imperceptible, akhanda akara vritti, atma chetana brahma. When you go into the world of the vrittis, your memories, your thought universe, can you escape the akhanda akara, the Chidakasa consciousness? While exploring something in the physical universe, can you escape the formless space? You are exploring in the formless space for the forms. Inside, in the thought universe, you are exploring the vrittis in the akhanda akara vritti. You are exploring the world of Mahadeva. The world of different types of impressions, modifications in the backdrop of consciousness. Backdrop, or it is in and through. Space is the backdrop of the mountains or in and through the mountains? Understand? So in thus you can see, look what happens. So in reality, nameless universe, nameless thought universe, nameless physical universe, nameless everything. Listen. Now, just like you started creating here, body, my home, my village, my community, my state, there is communist state were not there. It was kingdoms, fiefdoms that were there. So the king, listen, king. Listen, it's very, very important. As the nameless, we are part of the inseparable part of the nameless universe. But when somebody named it this kingdom, we are alienated, separated from that kingdom. I am this body, others I am not. My house, others' houses are not. How many ways you are divided? You are divided into infinity, you understand? What is the destruction? Avhede Veda Darshanam, Advaite Dvaita Darshanam. In the nameless, formless, you are losing yourself in names and forms. Imagine, friends, just to jump the gun. Today, if we are looking at the world, what is happening in Ukraine? Russia coming in. No reflection on a country or anything. Think of it. China, Taiwan. This line of control, that line of control. Around the universe. Listen, friends. Why is it happening like that? When the battle begins, the kingdoms don't fight, kings fight. Countries don't fight, countrymen don't fight. Countrymen don't fight, leaders fight. One president, live president, one Hitler, one this Chinese boy or the Russian boy or anybody for any country anywhere, don't have to name it. It begins in your own mind. Are you a person, the nameless absolute, beginningless, endless? No, you're stuck with this idea. This is my body, other people's body. So I'll have more villages occupation, more countries occupying, more I'll be a greater king, greater emperor and all that stuff. Everybody. Why the informed people are proud? He knows only one book, I know 100 books. He knows only one word, I know 100. Even the Upanishads. There are many, many wise people in India. There are many, many wise people in these countries because of this tradition. Doesn't matter, whole world also, why not? All over it. Tell it whatever. In the humanity, there can be many wise people. Listen carefully, friends. They don't have to learn every word, every book, everything. Whoever knows, aware of himself. Be the nameless. Then choose your names. Why? How can there be one language for the entire humanity? How can there be one food for the entire humanity? How there can be one custom for every humanity? In the nameless, we are all one and the same. In the namings, there will be different. But don't say mine is better than yours. And the person, if they discover this, the first battle inside, if you win over, because inside who is fighting? Other thoughts are not fighting with your thoughts. Your I thought is fighting with every other thoughts. In your little universe, you are a despot or you are an idiot. In your little thought universe, if you are the wise one, knowing for yourself who you are, and therefore every thought is beautiful. Sarvam jagadevanandanavanam sarvepi kalpadruma samasta varigangavarinvaha punya samasta kriya. Everything is beautiful, everything is divine. Is not something to be bandied about, talked about. Or talk to invoke some inferiority in somebody. No. Even if you don't know you are that, if I know I am that. That is why in the wise man's world, everybody has a place. But in ignorance man's world, so divided, inside him or her, she is divided, bifurcated, compartmentalized, destroyed, and she shall destroy everybody's world, compartmentalize, destroy everybody's world. That is what there are. Political leaders means what? A visionary leader. What they call as the, understand, what they call as the Rishi, Raja. A Rishi. First be a Rishi. Jananti atanti Rishi. Those who know the reality. You are it, whether you know it or don't know. And don't say difficult to know. This is happening all along. Nameless experience is a continuous affair. Are you getting that point, sir? I hope you understand that experiencing, again, come down. Experiencing, if it is with your eyes, it will not be always there. Seeing is not always possible. Hearing is not always possible. Tasting is not always possible. Touching is not always possible. Thinking is not always possible. Experiencing and thinking is not always possible. Remember two types of experience. One is the experience in whose presence all other experiences are experienced. Anubhava. That is why in Sanskrit it is fantastic. Atma, Chetana, Bhava. Bhavani, Bhavana, Gamya, Bhavaranya, Kutharika. Oh Mother, you are Bhavani. Ishvara, Bhava. Bhavaya Namaha, Sambhavaya Namaha, Sarvaya Namaha. Consciousness. Bhava. This Bhava or Bhavani, Bhavana Gamya. Beautiful word in Mother's name. Bhavana Gamya can be Bhavana Gamya. With your Bhavanaya Gamya. With your thinking, you know the meaning of the thought, what it reminds you, Gamya. You know it. Bhavanaya Agamya. It cannot be known by a Bhavana if you are losing yourself in the thought. If you see the meaning of the thought, you are it. If you are lost in the thought, unknown. Wow, what words? Bhavani. The truth is ultimately masculine, feminine, boy or girl. Ardhanarishvara. Bhavaranya Kutharika. Oh Mother, you are the Axe, A-X-E. Axe, X, whatever you pronounce it. I am not convent English educated. Bhavani, Bhavana. Bhavaranya Kutharika. You are Kutharika, Axe, A-X-E. Of what? Bhavaranya. This name and form universe. It doesn't cut it down. Be the nameless, the universe of name and form melts away, fades away. You don't have to destroy it, to displace it, to dismiss it. Just be the nameless, formless, everything merges into you. You don't have to remove the waves to see the water. Be the water, the waves. Be the nameless. There is no choice. You can forget a name, forget the nameless. How easy? How easy? You can forget a form, forget the formless. Here remembering depends upon a name, depends on a thought. Why the object or any objective knowledge is difficult to remember? Because they depend upon the object as well as the thought of the object. Yourself, the consciousness, doesn't depend upon a name, doesn't depend upon an object, doesn't depend upon a thought, doesn't depend upon anything. Even if you want to escape, you can't escape. Here you want to desperately want to hold on, you can't hold on. That is why people say, oh, my body is dying. Oh, Brahma Vidya, nonsense. And then you say, I'm destitute, I'm poor. And then, I want to be king. Why? Because you are lost in that comparative and competitive realm called the perceptual universe. That is because you are lost in your own mind. In your own mind, battle is raised. The same I has got thousands of identities. I'm a small man, and I'm a big man. So he wants to be emperor, no more a village boy. For me, the village boy, if I want to be emperor, I must eat up other villages, other countries, other continents, everything. I am the number one. What a waste, what a waste. Can you ever swallow the universe? That is why Mother Earth smiles. That Sanskrit verse, I must get it. And what the Mother Earth says, all these people are kings and emperors are fools. They are fighting to own me. They are fighting to conquer this world. Nobody can ever conquer me, nobody can ever own me until they will come under me. The day you get your first catch, like today I got a beautiful catch. I am enjoying this catch because I am the fastest going instrument here. But suddenly, after a bath, I was just, getting ready. I put my leg in there. No, not in a bad way. I very consciously doing it, but suddenly, I don't know what, beautiful. So I did it, I came back, and no problem. The moment it happens, suppose your stomach starts churning, your kidney malfunctions, your heart gives you constant warning, planning coming. Will you think of being the emperor of the universe? Now that Putin is having cancer, God bless him, let him be cured. Alexander the Great lying down dead. Mahmud of Ghazni, kings and emperors of this universe. What did they say at the last moment? That speak the truth, it is too late. Mahmud of Ghazni, who conquered India, who invaded and looted India 16 times, all of his wealth and everything, the temples and small, gold and diamonds and everything. Mahmud of Ghazni, what he said, when I'm dying, please put my hand outside the coffin. Same thing they say about Alexander. The stories goes, but that doesn't matter who is the boy. But all these guys who have gone to the highest point, when they're dying, they see the truth and it's too late. What he says? Please put my hand outside the coffin. He says, sir, emperor, that is not the tradition, that's not custom. I want my hands to be outside. He's emperor. Why? So that people can see the Mahmud of Ghazni, the terror of the countries, who looted India and looted all the collected gold and diamond and emerald and all the things, goes empty-handed. Will you dream of something? Will you dream of a kingdom? Fastest car? Executive plane? The biggest yacht? In your backside is paralyzed. Any part is paralyzed, your dream will be off. If the pain overtakes, what do you think of it? No. Are you getting that point, please? Get back quickly to yourself which you have never left. Nameless consciousness. Shining all the time. We, the shining nameless, where all the names are continuously fading away. Before they fade away, enjoy, revel. You then ask an idiot, he goes, who is there doing? Shut up, come to Tattva class, then you will know what it is. Close your eyes. Be the all-pervasiveness. That which is all-pervasive is here. Be the nameless. Since we are introduced to our names, which is needed, from the names and their confusion, when you start looking for a nameless, you find it difficult, as though so many barriers to be crossed, miles to go before I sleep, miles to go before I sleep. First your body has to be taken care, thoughts has to be taken care, world has to... What are you doing? Don't make consciousness a space-specific object. It's not time-specific existence. Now there is a space-specific existence, you have to reach that in time, reach that in space. Jati niti kula gotra duragam, nama rupa guna dosha varjitam, desha kala vishaya ativarti yad brahma yad vartate tad brahma ahamasmiti bhavami. Jati niti guna gotra duragam, nama rupa guna dosha varjitam, desha kala vishaya ativarti yad tad brahmamasi. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani tad brahma, that which is in and through everything. You want to name that nameless? You have to give Brahma. Why? Because so many other names you have been used to. That is why the tradition, where you can see history, read history, geography, mathematics, everything you read, but Brahma Vidya also should be there. About yourself. If you are a lucky person, earliest, even before children, when they are 14, 15, I personally feel 12, 13, 14, give them, explain them about experiencing. They will grab it. But when that thought universe is already crowded with a million concepts, avoidable concepts, because many things we study in our schools which are absolutely of no use to a certain extent, a certain time in life. You get stuck on only one subject, how to cheat, how to manipulate, how to overtake, and then how to be frustrated. But you teach them about experiencing, only simple. People think these are all too simple and or otherworldly objects. No, friends, it belongs to this world and the eternity. The nameless that you are, earliest you get it better. That is why a Nachiketas is a wonderful student. A Dhruva, a Prahlada, younger you are, better it is. Or else you have to fight with a universe you have already named and in which you are lost. Yet, it's not hopeless because just because you have, in search of formless, you have gone to another star, you can immediately recognize the formless space is there also. You have to be with a person who is aware of it, helps you to recognize instantaneously, now and here. At least outside there is a now and a here. Close your eyes in your thought universe. It's a continuous now and here. So in that nameless silence, chant 3 times name, Om. Thank you, friends. Whether it is 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 100 times, it means nothing, because ultimately what is meaningful is nameless, soundless. There is no 3, 4, 5, 1, no. See that, friends. Thank you.